Hey guys, I am over here in the park in Valencia, Spain, and I want to tell you guys what happened with my Airbnb and also my experience with staying at hostels here in Barcelona, in Spain. So, I moved to an Airbnb. I had stayed a few nights at a youth hostel here in Valencia, and the price is about the same. If you haven't guessed on that, I'm a budget traveler. I've been traveling the world like over 2 years now. And of course, it'd be nice to stay in a 5-star hotel instead, right? But youth hostel and a budget room. And I got this room it's about 5 miles away, over near the airport. It's like a little small town that is kind of like industrial, and you can take the bus over there. And I'll tell you a few things that went awry over there. I actually quit there and moved back to a different hostel. So what happened there is that the room didn't have any heat, and what I found so shocking about that is that as an American, I think it's in the building code that a building has to have heat. You can't not have you have a room without any heat system. And so the weather, just to give you an idea of the weather here in Valencia, it's kind of up and down. So right now it's like 45 degrees. So it's not super warm or cold. Now, a couple of days ago, it was like 75. So at night, you're talking, last night it was below 40 degrees. So it's definitely not super warm here. So what happened there is I was in my room, and I was like on my laptop, just sitting on my bed. And the room got a little bit chilly, and I was like, what the hell? And there's no heat, there's no space heater, so I contacted my host. So my host she was a Chilean, she's from Chile, and she lives here in Valencia, speaks Spanish. She was a nice, attractive girl there. And when I contacted her about it, she said, yeah, it's just cold, and she wears a coat inside, and I saw her wearing a coat. I was like, okay, And I said, and she was like, is it possible we could put a heater in my room? So she kind of blew me off and said she didn't care about that and said no. So she doesn't have a heater. She's poor. That's why she has guests there, is because she doesn't have a lot of money. There's like a broken fish tank in her hallway there and a broken heater. And so I think maybe the heat costs more for electricity, So that's kind of a luxury. I'm assuming air conditioning will probably be a luxury as well, cooling. So I was like freezing, and I was like, what the hell? And so I said, okay, you know what? Is it okay if I just leave? And she said, yeah, it's fine. So Airbnb gave me a refund, which I just got today. It's like half, So then I moved back to a hostel. So, and I'm going to tell you guys my experience with the youth hostels. It's like hit or miss. It's like I'm not a young person. I'm in my 40s, and it's very cheap here in Valencia. Barcelona is a little bit more expensive. So over in Barcelona, one of the nights that I was in the hostel there was a person who, she looked like she was a professional person who walks around at night conducting business there, and she did not look like a very savory person there. Well, she moved into the bunk next to, and I'm not even sure she was a woman, So that was a little bit scary there. And I went to the front desk and I said, you know what, I'm not really comfortable with the person here. Can I switch rooms? And they said, why don't you just check out tomorrow? And I said, okay, So that, So here's what happened at the hostel in Valencia. There were these rowdy kids in the room there. And when I went to get my breakfast, I just left a few things around there, around my bed. And I came back and they had taken my deodorant, my spray deodorant. Now, it's not that valuable of an item, but they did actually steal that. They were speaking some foreign language. I'm not sure what it was, but just some rowdy, young guys who were probably in their early 20s, And so, it wasn't that big of a deal, but they stole that and also a little carton of orange juice that I had, which was not very expensive, just a couple of bucks, But, so that theft in a hostel, that's a real, problem. So what I usually do when I'm staying at the hostel is when I leave the hostel, I lock my stuff up in the locker, but also I take my laptop with me as well as my drone. And, if I have something expensive, then I just put it in my backpack, the pack safe here, and I've got it on my back right now. That way you don't have to worry about somebody cutting your locker open or, some hotel owner who wants to steal, from the guests and claim that they don't know anything about it, So that, but I do leave some of my clothes there. So, give me a little more peace of mind, But yeah, overall, I think probably you're going to be safer with an Airbnb just because there's so many people there, at the hostel. And, some of them are going to be questionable character. And the same for U.S. If you had a hostel in the United States, you're probably going to get people who are homeless there, similar over here. But most of them, now, from what I saw there, most of the residents there were just travelers. They had a backpack just like I do. Young, mostly young, 20s, backpacker types. Many of them are European, some South American people. But, at some of the other hostels that I stayed at, I did meet some cool people there. Couch surfers, when I was in Miami, Florida, I had met a couple of people who were couch surfers. And I actually invited them to get on a plane and come back to New York City so that they could surf my couch. So they went and came with me. But I think overall, you're probably better off just staying away from that. Just because, you can probably meet people in other, places than, where you're sleeping there. So in the current one, I'm actually still at another hostel. But it's kind of a mix of people. It's just there's some young guys in my room. There's a Spanish lady who is here to work. So that's kind of who's staying there. But that is actually what fits in my budget at present time. So it's just a money thing. Now Airbnb, if I get a private room at Airbnb, it's about the same price. So it's a nightly at a hostel. But I guess the advantage of a hostel is that you can, leave, whenever you want. You don't have to book a month or something like that to save money, So I was actually comparing the price of that to a monthly room in Valencia. And as I said, it's about the same, And you can go to booking.com and just do a search. And I just search booking and I say cheapest hostels, to see what's available. And actually what I recommend there's called Biz Beach. That I stayed there for one night, and it's a brand new, has a private bathroom, has, a very fancy work area, super fast internet. So that's highly recommended. There's some other ones, Purple Nest Hostel, which is directly in the center of town. So I stayed there, for a couple of nights. So yeah, we'll see. It's kind of like it has its advantages, but it has drawbacks, because you never know when you're sleeping there. You never know what somebody could do to you, I mean, so I think for my next move, I'm actually leaning towards flying to another location in Spain. And I'll fill you guys in on that soon. Let's see, here's another pond in the center of the park here. All right, I'm gonna head on and get some food, and I'll catch you guys later.